Hey now, ladies and gentlemen, hour number 2 of the line. Can you believe it's already been an hour? That's crazy. Also coming up, Jawbone Jam tickets. Got 2 of them for you. And, John Bird, how should we give those away? I mean, we have we've already done the John Bird spelling bee. I don't know that we should do that again.
No, please God, no.
What's some of the other
Something
contests?
involving you.
Something involving me.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what we could do. I mean, we could do the reverse spelling bee if you wanted, but
What something? Why don't we get some suggestions on the text line?
y'all send us some suggestions on how to give away these next 2 tickets. But we had some
What was that?
contests.
Yeah. What were they? Were pretty good too.
There was we did the line trivia, which, I might be able to come up with some questions, but we've done things like impressions. We've done whoever says the nicest thing about John Bird and whoever says the worst thing about John Bird. I don't know. Y'all send us some suggestions, and we'll look over them for the next few, and then maybe we'll be giving them away by 12. How's 12 o'clock sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. And at 12:30, we're revealing who won the John Bird Plays the Guitar, and it's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one. Rusty did a great job.
Nice. So, all right, so we have a winner for that for this week's, and then we'll move on later this week to the next John Bird Plays the Guitar and all that jazz. I got a lot to get to. Donald Trump is still taking questions, and I kind of feel like I want to hop back in on that, but I want to make a point before, and that is the things that he's talking about as far as the patience that he has for this deal in Iran. He says that the Iranians are so used to being able to get their way, and politicians and presidents in particular not having the patience to deal with this because, as everybody's talking about, it's not politically savvy and it's not politically helpful for Donald Trump to continue to do this based on the results of the gas prices, that it is extremely detrimental politically. And I think it just goes to reinforce how in the job Donald Trump is, in the sense of he's doing it because he believes it's the right thing to do. No other politician would do that. Anybody else would have folded by now and said, I can't afford to spend the political capital to continue on with this because it's going to harm me. It's going to harm my party in upcoming elections. And Donald Trump says, no, that's not what this is about. What this is about is doing what's right and ridding the world of crazy people having a nuclear weapon. So he's if they're in the business of thinking that they're going to wait Donald Trump out, they're sadly mistaken. And in the meantime, and I understand the gas prices are at the forefront and people are upset about them, rightly so. I mean, I saw over the weekend gas stations with $4 plus a gallon, and I thought to myself, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that in my lifetime, it be above $4. And that is a shock to the system, and it is hurtful, especially for those of you out there that use your vehicle for a living, whether it's rideshare or you're working construction sites or running your own business and you're constantly on the road and you got a big truck and it's taking you $150, $200 to fill up your gas tank. I get it. I promise you, I have the utmost sympathy for you on that, and I don't blame you for being angry. But I want to hopefully encourage you by saying that not only is this going to be over soon, but everything that's being set up in the background is laying a foundation for the economy that is going to flower into something, bloom into something unlike anything we've ever seen. And I'm watching this day in and day out. Not only that, but jobs, we got fantastic job numbers last week. They even revised the previous month to even higher job numbers. Like, they're going through the roof. And for the first time in history, the first time in American history, which is an all-time 250-year record, the U.S. has smashed the record for monthly exports. If you look at January, February, and March of this year, U.S. exports exceeded $300 billion each month. Those are the highest figures in the 250 years of the United States of America, each month beating the record of the previous month. That is people manufacturing, that is jobs, that is growth, that is turning what we have spent our whole life doing, which is buying products that are made by other countries and flipping that around on its head to where other countries are going to, you know how you used to go to the store and you're like, man, everything's just made in China crap. You know, you get it and it breaks. You have to buy it again. And granted, it's cheap, but you're always having to replace it because it's cheap Chinese crap. That's about to turn around, and China is going to be like, oh, gosh, everything I go to the store, and it's American made. The only difference is it's not going to be cheaply made crap. It's not going to break. It's going to be good quality stuff. But all these other countries are now going to be talking amongst one another saying, man, everything in the store is made by the USA. And that's huge. That's huge for employers. That's huge for employees. That's huge for people in the job market. And that because of that, not only are jobs going up, incomes are rising, people are making more money, and that is going to continue to grow, which gives a little relief, honestly, to the gas prices, but those are temporary. Those are not going to be there forever. Wish I had a timeline on how long they're going to be around, but I'm telling you, they're not going to be around long. So hang tight, man. Hang tight. I still want to tell those stories about my mom and the phones and all that, which I'll get to. But as we're probably on the tail end of this, so let's hop back over to the White House and Donald Trump taking questions from reporters.
To infectious diseases experts who say they're worried the country may not be prepared to deal with something like hantavirus because of all the HHS, funding and staffing cuts.
Well, I think we take care of that, and you want to answer that?
It's just not true. Jay Bhattacharya is taking this task on. Secretary Kennedy is involved with him. You can speak to perhaps even better than, frankly, best in the room. But the country's prepared. The CDC is focused on it, and the agency is well aware of the opportunities to actually treat this problem, not just try to prevent it in the future, but treat it if it happens now. Secretary?
Yeah, I mean, we've had CDC teams on it from day one. I was speaking with the University of Nebraska since the second day of the outbreak. I was speaking with Governor Dillon of Nebraska. We had a CDC team at Tenerife. We had airplanes ready to take the patients, the 17 patients, off the vessel and transport. 2 of them went to Atlanta. One of those was symptomatic. They're in a biocontainment lab in Atlanta. The other 16 are now in Nebraska. One of them is symptomatic. He is in the biocontainment lab. The other ones are being tested and supervised and given plans for going home. We have this under control, and we're not worried about it.
But the CDC took 4 days after the WHO issued its, alert. Why was it? Why did it take the US 4 days to issue an alert?
It's not true. As soon as we determined that the virus was out there, we issued an alert. The alert means nothing.
They acted very quickly. I saw the alert. Give me a break. They acted very, very quickly, and it looks like, and can't bet anybody's life on it, but it looks like it's just a disease that we've had around in a very small way for a long time. Not a good one to catch because, it's a very severe disease if you catch it, but it's very hard to catch. Daniel, did you have a question?
One last one. Senator Britt mentioned the website moms.gov. One of the policies that's on there are the Trump accounts, right? They're getting ready to go live this summer. When you speak to young parents, this is one of the policies they repeatedly bring up about how impactful it will be for them. Can you just talk about why Americans need to know about this and how important it is for younger parents to give their kids access?
So we've done more for young parents, I guess it's the way you could say it. It's a great, beautiful term. But we've done more for young parents than any administration ever in history, and we're going to continue to do so. This is, look at the people up here. They're all like brilliant. I'm one of the young ones, you know. I'm a similar age to all of you. Very similar. I feel the same as them. I actually feel, for sure. You know, I don't know what this is. I feel the same as I did 50 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy. Someday there'll be a day when that won't happen. I'll let Bobby and Oz know, you know? It's not quite the same. But I feel literally the same. I don't know why. It's not because I eat the best foods. Maybe they are the best foods. Who knows what the best foods are? Maybe junk food is good and the other food is no good. I know people that eat the best food. They go to a restaurant, they have celery, and I don't want it. And I'll have steak and everything else. And I say, how you doing? Well, it's over for me at a young age. And all they do is watch it. I know many, many people that all they do is watch their weight, their this, their that, and they kick the bucket, and here we are. I feel great. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time.
Thank you, guys.
Pulitzer Prize winner.
All right, so that's a wrap. One of the best things he said in that whole thing, he said, Trump derangement syndrome, I'm hearing, is actually a disease, as they were talking about medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we will not build the wall. I'm going to do the opposite. I have a new way out. I will propose something. I will propose something the opposite of what we want. Then we will have massive amounts of legislation. He said, whatever is bad, I'm going for it, and they'll approve what's good finally. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. They don't even know what they're looking at. They can't even see straight.
Yeah, I like when he was talking about the, maybe junk food is the way to go. I was just thinking that Robert Kennedy in his head is going, no, Mr. President, what the hell are you doing?
No, don't do that. Please, Mr. President. Speaking of RFK, we told you the story about Dr. Oz as Will Roberts, the Alabama boy, that was needing the treatment for his cancer out in California. He got out to California and he met with Dr. Oz and got RFK Jr. on the phone. And RFK Jr. was talking about how he loves to come to Alabama and the Black Warrior River and everything else, which was kind of cool. Noticed that the LA Dodgers got in touch with Will's family while they were out there and offered them free tickets to the game. So they went to the Dodgers game, I think yesterday or a couple days ago.
And the Braves beat the tar.
And the Braves. And that was the thing. He's a Braves fan. And he says, well, since they gave me tickets, I'm going to pull for the Dodgers. But, you know, the Dodgers taking the L was kind of like a nod to Will.
Yep.
You know, they probably wasn't even that mad about it because Will was in attendance. But anyway, we've been talking about that kid for weeks because he's from here. He's like, what was that? Ralph, Alabama. It's like 10 miles outside of Tuscaloosa. And we had been following his story, and he'd gained a lot of traction, and especially getting the attention of the White House. They brought him up as they were talking about, Donald Trump was talking about right to try. And I told Bert, I said, they're about to bring Will up. And sure enough, Dr. Oz brought him up. Katie Britt, who was there in the Oval Office, mentioned a little bit about Will as well. And man, just God, it would be so amazing to see that kid pull through. And I think, God's definitely on his side. And I think he might just do it. I think he might pull it out.
What a story.
Yeah, what a great story. Noto Roofing, NOTOroofing.com, NOTOroofing.com. Y'all get in touch with Noto, get your free roof inspection, complimentary roof tune-up. I was talking to Chris at Noto all weekend long. We had made plans to go watch the fight together, but he was running behind on cooking his Boston butt for his mom for Mother's Day, so we had to cancel, unfortunately. But we went back and forth during the UFC fight, which was absolutely amazing. Sean Strickland pulling off the win for the title, which was cool, and all that kind of stuff. But none of that matters. What matters is you getting your roof in order, making sure everything's good. As we've had storms roll through over the past couple of weeks, now is the best time to make it happen. It's free, free, free. Doesn't cost you anything to get a roof inspection and a complimentary roof tune-up, which they give you on the house. Get it on the house, like your roof is on the house. They give you the tune-up on the house. Literally, they're on the house giving you the tune-up.
I like that.
So get with them, 205-848-2299. It's 205-848-2299, online, notollroofing.com. Keep sending in those suggestions. Well, I take that back. We don't need any more suggestions. I think we came up with it. I'll give Bama Phoenix credit for this. We are going to play, instead of the John Birch spelling bee, we're going to play the Andrew pronounces medical terms.
That's a good one.
B. What would we call it? We're going to have an official name for it.
Just Andrew pronounces medical terms.
So it's going to be similar to the John Birch spelling bee, where you guys will call in and guess whether or not I can get the term right that John Birch spells for me.
Yeah. So it's going to be 3.
You got to get 3 in a row right. I think we've only got 35 terms, but we can make it work. We'll make it happen. So get ready for that. We'll do that at 12 o'clock. Sound good? 205-545-9950. We got a whole lot of show coming up. Two zero 545 All right, get into some headlines here in a moment. But first, I got to tell this story that I was talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Which was with my mom's phones. We are on TikTok, by the way, at
TikTok.
the Andrew Mclain, at the Andrew Mclain. If y'all want to join us, it's a little behind the scenes. Both JB and I are mic'd up separately. JB is using a filter where his head is a roll of toilet paper. So if you want to see that, at Andrew at the Andrew Mclain, go on there and follow me and all that kind of stuff. I've been posting videos and Trish adventures and everything else on there at the Andrew Mclain. But okay, so my mom's reminded me of these stories last night. The first one happens. This is actually the second phone incident she had, but I'll tell you this one first. So she's got a brand new iPhone. I think at the time it may have been a 13. Like it was the newest iPhone at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Cost several $100s, as most iPhones do. And she is helping Richard, her husband, get the trash out. They live out in the middle of nowhere, so they burn their trash, right?
Right.
Which would
Makes
drive
sense.
Greta Thunberg absolutely insane. But they're burning trash and da-da-da-da-da, and she's, getting the trash together and all this kind of stuff. And they go out there and throw the trash in the pit, and they burn it and everything else. Well, then she gets to looking for her phone. She can't find it anywhere. And she's scrambling. She's like, I cannot find it. And then she starts thinking, surely my phone didn't fall in the garbage.
Oh, no.
That I just took out to the pit and we just burned. She's like, no, there's no way. So, and she's terrified to tell her husband at this point, but she goes out there and starts poking and prodding around, doesn't see anything, and then she finally just gives up, and she goes to Richard, and she's like, honey, I can't find my phone, and I'm terrified that I might have dropped it in the trash.
Ouch.
That we just went and burnt. So they went and prodded around. Richard got out there and looked, and sure enough,
Oh, man.
there was that charred iPhone 13. It was in bad shape.
Does Apple Care cover that? I
No,
wonder.
she didn't have insurance on it or nothing. And so it was just toast. And, Richard's like, don't worry about it. We'll just get you a new one. Now, he didn't know how much the phone was at that time. But she ultimately got her another phone somehow. But the first one was at some event they were at. She goes to use a porta potty. And as soon as she sits down,
Oh, my gosh.
she hears, bloop.
That poor woman.
Dropped it right in the porta potty hole. And she thinks about it, and she's like, there's absolutely nothing I can do. Like, you can't. It's dropping in a toilet or your own toilet is one thing. I mean, John Bird dug around in the toilet here just to get a worry stone out of the thing. But a porta potty is one of the most disgusting places on the freaking planet. And so she didn't get it. She lost that phone, and she actually waited 45 minutes after they left before she told Richard she dropped her phone in the porta potty because she knew that he might go in there and try to retrieve her phone from the pits of hell. I meant to say, when it comes to Jawbone Jam tickets, if you win tickets, you are technically VIP, which doesn't come with any extra perks other than you get your own Talk 99.5 lanyard. We provide that to you so everybody knows that you are VIP, you're part of the 99.5 crew, and also that you're just you're a badass and you won your tickets, or it could signal that you didn't pay and you are a cheapskate. I'm just kidding. That's not what it means. It just means you're that good and you won the contest. So we're going to do that at 12 o'clock. So be ready to call the show and win the Andrew Pronounces Medical Terms contest, which is going to be very similar to how the John Birch Spelling Bee went, if you recall how that goes. Anyway, thank you to Danny Knowles of the Knowles Group for making Jawbone Jam happen. 10-year anniversary, man. I'm excited about this one. It's a big milestone, of course. 10 years for a radio station is, these days, and in years past, it's really an accomplishment. Not a lot of stations make it 10 years, especially when you're in a big company like this one. But we've made it work. The founding members like Richard Dixon and Leland and Valerie Vining have made this thing work. I'm the only non-founding host here. Although I felt like I had some sort of tie-in to it because it was the creation of 99.5 that gave me the opportunity to do radio in Birmingham in the first place. And then I finally just wiggled my way into this station like a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a talk radio snake. Thanks to one Matt Murphy. And thanks to Leland Whaley. Leland played a big part in that as well. But we're going to have Brother Kane, Stone Horses and Cattle. I was going through Brother Kane's social media the other day and looking at kind of what they've been doing as of late. And they just put a new album out for the first time in 28 years, John Bird. 28 years. And Brother Kane was huge in the mid to late 90s. And then they just kind of, they rode their success and then they continued to tour and everything else. But, didn't put out any new music until just recently over the past few weeks. So you may get to hear a little bit of their stuff. Their new stuff. Stone Horses and Cattle there as well. Very, very, very excited about all of that. All right, John Bird, let's do some headlines. I want to start off by mentioning the Obama Presidential Library, the monstrosity in Chicago that looks like a spaceship. They are, and you're not even going to believe this, they're selling stuff at the gift shop. But a presidential library is going to have a gift shop, but some of the stuff that they're selling is it's just kind of it's almost like a joke. Like I didn't even think it was real at first. It says this gorgeous lapel pin is one of the items. This is how they describe it. It's $30. This unique accessory was designed by Samira Shukapali Holmes, a former NYU professor of ethical leadership and an architect who specializes in sustainability and social equity. It allegedly represents the intersection of bold design and global leadership. And I think to myself, like, a professor at NYU creating a lapel pin, it probably looks kind of dumb. And if that was what you thought, you, my friends, are right. This is the $30 lapel pin that you can buy at the Obama Presidential Library.
What the crap is it?
It
looks like a tooth.
Yeah, it kind of does.
The presidential tooth.
It looks like a communion wafer, actually. It's kind of got communion wafer vibes to it. It's supposed to look like the building itself, which already looks dumb. So now you've just made a dumb building and a dumb pin. Also, John Bird, these heartwarming hats, $35. Choose from hope, empathy, community, and imagination. These low-key, powerful fashion statements were designed to serve as a reminder to keep dreaming big.
I'm gonna vomit. I mean,
Keep dreaming big. And that's, by the way, what Democrats want you to do. They just want you to dream. They don't actually want you to accomplish anything. They want you to be subservient. And you got to have stuff for the kids, right? For $400, children are going to be able to buy and build their own Lego wind turbines and other green energy projects. Look at that. Renewable energy. Isn't that nice?
what kid wants? I mean, you know.
The Renewable Energy Lab toy set, the Wind Power toy set, and the Green Engineering Clean Energy and Sustainable Living House, which is like a little mini house with solar panels and everything, and you can grow grass on the top of it like a chia pet. God, man, if I'm a kid and my parents are taking me to the Obama Presidential Library, I'm going to be like, this is the worst field trip ever. This is the worst vacation ever. This place sucks. This library sucks. But maybe the most fascinating part of it is for $20, you can purchase the book called Rules for Radicals by none other than Saul Alinsky.
Oh my gosh.
That is not a joke. And what's funny is during the Obama years, anybody that suggested that Obama had even read that book, much less followed that book, you would have been mocked and made fun of. By the way, $20 is double the price it is on Amazon. But the Saul Alinsky book, Rules for Radicals, you can also buy that in the gift shop at the Obama Center at the Obama Presidential Library. I mean, that's pretty amazing, especially since you were mocked for even suggesting that Obama would be reading a book such as that. Anyway, if you want some vacation plans, there's what you can expect in Chicago for any of you that have been wanting to take an old trip to Chi-Town, to Chirac for a little vacay. Also, I've been seeing a lot of chaos. Speaking of travel, a lot of chaos with the airlines. There have been people, and I'm just coming across this on social media randomly. People that are having their flights canceled like crazy. Flights that aren't even full are getting canceled, and people are being diverted to other flights and even other cities in order to get to their final destination. So they have to go to another airport they weren't even expecting to go to. Some are just getting canceled outright, and their bags end up traveling anyway. I think what's happening, actually, I don't know what's happening with airlines. I think they're operating with such slim margins that a lot of these flights, if they are not full or they don't have enough people flying, that instead of putting the people on the plane and getting them where they need to go, that they're canceling these flights and they're trying to maneuver them around to get the flights as full as possible in order to make money with again, already thin margins. That's just a theory. I don't know if that's the case. I'm seeing a lot, which is what brings up this next headline, John Bird. Wild video online showing the moment a Frontier plane fatally strikes a trespasser on the runway at the Denver airport. And by strikes him, I mean dude gets sucked into the engine.
Oh, my gosh.
And is there a worse way to go than to just, I mean, at least it's fast and you probably felt no pain, but you're jogging down the runway and then it's just a matter of whoop,
I mean,
right
is
in
he
there.
I guess he's trying to get out of the way.
I don't know.
What's he doing there in the first place?
Yeah, it's not a good place to be. They called him a trespasser, so he wasn't supposed to be there. The plane was bound for LAX. Passengers were evacuated 3 minutes after the trespasser was hit. According to the reports, the unidentified man who was struck on the runway breached a perimeter fence shortly before the plane took off. And who knows, maybe he was a guy that had his flight canceled and he was so angry he was going to go out there and give him a piece of his mind on the runway or something. One passenger said the plane's cabin began to fill with smoke. Sean Duffy released a statement. He said a trespasser breached airport security at the Denver International Airport, deliberately scaled the perimeter fence and ran out onto the runway. The trespasser on the runway then was struck by Frontier Airlines Flight 4345 during takeoff at a high speed. The pilot stopped takeoff procedures immediately, which is crazy that the pilot was able to do that so quickly, because if you're towards the end of the runway and you're about to pull the nose up, you've almost got to, right? Or I guess you could keep it on the ground and just hope that there's enough room for you to slow down. Let's see. Frontier was then quickly evacuated. Law enforcement and firefighters responded. Preliminary reports are 12 people were hurt, 5 taken to the hospital. Local law enforcement handles airport security and is investigating this with support from the FFA and TSA. That sucks, man. But just a little bit of advice: stay away from those jet engines, man. They're not going to be nice to you.
Do you think it was on a dare? Is it a younger person?
No idea. They don't have any information about the guy, so it's just one of those things, man. One of those things. Oh, and real quick, I got to get to this Hanta virus stuff, which I'll do on the other side, but I want to mention this. Nancy Guthrie, that case, which is absolutely gone cold and nobody's talking about it anymore. They found human remains near Nancy Guthrie's home that was they were found about 5 miles from the Tucson home that Nancy Guthrie disappeared from on February 1st. It is May the 11th, and Nancy Guthrie went missing on February 1st. That's a long time ago. It says bone was discovered by a live streamer who was conducting a search of the area. That may be the most amazing part, is that a live streamer found these remains, not local law enforcement, not the sheriff, who's an absolute Looney Tune apparently, but a live streamer. Tucson police acted quickly to tamp down on any speculation, though, that the bone could belong to Nancy Guthrie. They said this will be a prehistoric anthropological. What's the word, Jumbird?
Anthropological.
Anthropological. This is a prehistoric anthropological investigation, according to the police. They said the bone was at least 50 years old and there's no criminal investigation forthcoming. So that's, I don't know if it's, if it's 50 years old, it's not a dinosaur bone, but they're saying that it's definitely not Nancy Guthrie at all. All right, so there's that. Other stuff coming up for you. 205-545-9950. And on the other side, Joel Bone Jam tickets. You don't want to miss it. 205 545 9950. 545 9950. Dexter's on the line. Dexter, what's up? Hey, Dexter, what's up, buddy?
Dexter.
We lost him, didn't we?
There he is. Dexter.
Dexter, talk to me, buddy.
Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh,
You're going to have to pick up your phone, Dexter. We can't hear you, buddy.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was going to tell you about dropping the phone in the porta potty.
Sound like you're doing that now, actually.
No, I was checking my air on my tire. It looked like it was low, but I was on a job and we was fixing to finish it up, and we was going to have a layoff. I told everybody that morning to get prepared for a layoff. Well, I dropped my power telephone. That's how long ago it's been, in the portalette, and I was mad about it. And I said, I ain't going after it. I was up there in the office, and I said, it's lost. Well, it wasn't 15 minutes later, this guy come in there, and he had on a glove that we had hired him from high school. He had just graduated from high school, and he was what they call the head of the FFA, which is Future Farmers of America. And he had a glove that went up to his elbow, like these plastic gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in after it and got it, brought it to me, and had it in a Ziploc bag. I said, well, the one thing about it, you ain't got to worry about getting laid off. You're going to get at least another week's worth of work, you know.
Oh, man, that's awful.
But he had a glove that went up to the top of his shoulder, you know.
Mm.
I said, where did you get that glove? And he said, well, I was president of the FFA. He said, I've had to help birthing horse, cattle, and calves. And he said, that's what they wear when they have to help a cow, you know, when they're birthing their calf or whatever.
Just reach on up in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I just wanted to tell you that it did work for him anyway. At least he got another week's worth of work, you know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't lay him off after doing that.
No.
And going after it, you know.
Nah, you got to at least fire him a week later.
The power tail, I didn't tell him nothing. They took it. I said, this thing is done quit, and they gave me another phone. You know?
Nice.
I didn't tell him a thing.
You're like, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It does smell like ish, but it's not working. I need a new one. Good thinking. All right, Dexter, that's good stuff, man.
All right, you was talking about that lapel. I wanted to tell you about that. The little $30 thing that you said you put in your pocket, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like a pen.
You would, being in the coffin repossession, you would not believe the things you find that they bury people with, you know. If you just be sure you can afford the casket. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Because people will spend way too much money and then they can't make the payments on it.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure.
You can get a pine casket, just like they do in Gunsmoke, for about $175, $200. You know.
Yeah, that'll save you a lot of money.
That works a lot better. You know.
For sure.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right,
see you later.
See you, Dexter. Does you think does he really repossess caskets? Is that a thing?
It's Dexter. What do you think? Of course.
So like he really does. I thought it was a gimmick, but
wait. What do you do with the body?
That's what I'm wondering.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up.
I don't know that repossessing casket. I think you've got to pay for the casket up front, don't you?
Well,
nobody's making payments on a casket.
Well, we paid for my dad's like 4 or 5 days later, but they do all the ones in the community, so that's
But you didn't. They didn't offer you like a payment plan or anything, did they?
Well, no, because we let them know that we were paying for it.
I'm gonna look that up. I'm wondering if that's a thing now. EC, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, thanks for having me back on your show after last time I was on there.
Oh, what happened last time?
You remember the last time I had a lot of stuff to talk about, remember?
Yeah, I do think I remember you talking about a bunch. And unfortunately, I got about 60 seconds, and then I got a show to do, a contest to do next time.
I just want to, have you heard of Dr. Dale Shelton Dees running for the Senate? taking Tubby's place?
Yeah, I think I've heard the name. I don't know anything about him though.
Well, I think people need to check him out. He swears he's not going to take any lobby money from anybody, including Alabama Power, APAC, and all these lobby groups that control this, people. So we need people like that in there. We don't need lobby groups in there controlling our people. We need people that stand for the people.
I agree.
And people need to investigate and get these kind of people back into the Senate and Congress and do away with these lobby groups that control us.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, the more representatives you can get that aren't bought and paid for, the better off the American people are going to be.